Welcome to Whispers in the Wind, stories of true crime. Could you ever imagine vanishing into thin air, leaving no trace behind? Today we delve into the chilling disappearance of a young man named Kyle Fleischmann, who in 2007 simply vanished. Kyle was not just a name or a face on a missing persons poster. He was a vibrant 24-year-old recent graduate, brimming with potential and the promise of a bright future. His life was just beginning, a new chapter unfolding. He was the kind of person who made a room come alive when he walked in, who had a knack for making people laugh, and who, most importantly, was deeply loved by his family and friends. On a seemingly ordinary November evening in 2007, Kyle's life took a turn for the unimaginable. He had spent the night with friends at a comedy show and then went to Buckhead Saloon in Charlotte, North Carolina. The night was filled with laughter, stories, and the clinking of glasses. It was a night like any other, a night of celebration. But as the night wore on, something shifted. The laughter faded, the stories ended, and the clinking of glasses became a distant echo. The bar, once filled with a vibrant crowd, slowly emptied out. And amidst the music and the dwindling chatter, Kyle Fleischmann, with a smile on his face, said his goodbyes to his friends. No one knew it then, but those goodbyes would be the last words they'd ever hear from him. At around 2:20 a.m., Kyle stepped out into the chilly night alone. The November air was crisp and cold, with the early morning temperatures being below 32 degrees. CCTV showed Kyle exiting Buckhead Saloon, leaving behind his jacket and bank card. Phone calls were made from his phone to family and friends over the next hour, up until 3:29 a.m. CCTV and his calls are the last known traces of Kyle. The city lights twinkled in the distance, the streets lay eerily quiet, and the world for a moment seemed frozen in time. And then, he was gone. Just like that, he stepped into the shadows, leaving behind a trail of questions and a world of people who cared for him, bewildered and heartbroken. As the night grew darker, Kyle Fleischmann stepped into the shadows, never to be seen again. A night of celebration turned into a lifelong mystery. This statement hits differently when you consider the story of Kyle Fleischmann. November 9, 2023 will mark 16 years since Kyle Fleischmann vanished. In the crisp fall of November, Kyle was brimming with excitement. It was a night meant for laughter and camaraderie as he and his friends decided to attend a comedy show at the popular Charlotte Comedy Zone. The air was electric, filled with anticipation and the echo of laughter. Kyle was in high spirits, his eyes glinting with mirth as he shared jokes and stories with his friends. The comedy show was a success, a night of pure joy and laughter. But the night was young, and Kyle was not ready to call it quits. His friends remember his infectious energy, his eagerness to make the most of the night. So they decided to continue the celebration, this time at the bustling Buckhead Saloon. The atmosphere was vibrant, the air thick with the sound of clinking glasses and the hum of chatter. Kyle was the life of the party, his laugh resonating above the din. He was in his element, surrounded by friends, the night still promising more memories to be made. His friends recall him being his usual self, full of life, making everyone around him smile. He was the last one to leave, insisting he was not ready for the night to end. The details of those last known interactions with Kyle are etched in their memories. His friends remember the smile on his face, the glint in his eyes, and the sound of his laughter. They remember bidding him good night, watching him leave the saloon, his silhouette disappearing into the night. Little did they know, their casual goodbyes were far more significant than they could have ever imagined. They were not just bidding him good night, they were unknowingly bidding him goodbye. In the silence of the night, his phone buzzed with unanswered calls. Following a night of celebration, Kyle Fleischmann disappeared into the night, leaving a trail of unanswered calls in his wake. The first call was made just after he left the bar. The neon lights of the bustling nightlife dimmed in the background as he dialed his sister's number. It was a call that would never be answered. As the night deepened, the calls continued, each one a desperate attempt to reach out, A plea echoed in the silence of the night. His best friend's number flashed on the screen next. The call connected, but only to the monotonous rhythm of the dial tone. No voice on the other end, no comfort in the loneliness that had engulfed him. The night was punctuated by these unanswered calls, a cryptic pattern etched into the timeline of his disappearance. Each unanswered call was like a pulse, a heartbeat in the dark, growing fainter with each passing minute. As dawn approached, the calls ceased. The final call was made at 3:28 in the morning. The phone rang, echoing in the empty streets, bouncing off the barren walls of the construction site nearby. But like the calls before, it was met with silence. The construction site would later become a crucial landmark in the investigation of Kyle's disappearance. It was there, amid the skeletal structures and mounds of dirt, that his pony was found. Dead. Silent. A chilling testament to the unanswered calls of the previous night. His phony, the last lifeline to the outside world, was now as silent as the night around him. The unanswered calls were now echoes of a man who had vanished, leaving behind nothing but questions. His last call ended at 3:28 a.m., leaving nothing but an eerie silence. Every mystery has its detectives, and this one was no different. In the puzzling vanishing of Kyle Fleischmann, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department was swift to spring into action. The initial stages of the investigation were as meticulous as they were intense. It was like trying to find a single cryptic piece in a vast jumbled puzzle. The police department, seasoned in dealing with such cases, knew a crucial fact. The first 48 hours in any missing persons case are the most critical. It's a race against time, a delicate dance where every tick of the clock can mean the difference between a breakthrough and a dead end. So, they wasted no time, pooling their resources and expertise to piece together the events of that fateful November night. Search teams were assembled, combing through the city's nooks and crannies, leaving no stone unturned. They scoured parks, alleyways, vacant buildings, any place that might hold a clue to Kyle's whereabouts. Canine units were brought in, their noses trained to pick up the faintest of scents, their paws tirelessly covering ground. Meanwhile, the local media was instrumental in spreading the news. Broadcasts of Kyle's disappearance ran on a loop, his face becoming a haunting fixture on television screens. Radio shows, newspapers, and social media platforms echoed the plea for any information. The city of Charlotte, once a place of joy and celebration for Kyle, was now a vast, chilling crime scene. Yet as the investigation unfolded, it was not just the law enforcement and media who were involved. The community rallied, too. From friends and family to concerned strangers, people came forward to help in any way they could. Candlelight vigils were held, flyers were distributed, and the city held its breath, hoping against hope for a positive outcome. But as the days turned into weeks, hope began to dwindle. The initial flurry of activity gave way to a grim persistence. The quest for answers, however, remained unyielding. As days turned into weeks, hope dwindled, but the quest for answers persisted. A puzzle with missing pieces, the clues in Kyle's case led to more questions than answers. The clues found during the investigation were as enigmatic as the disappearance itself. Among these, one of the most significant was the CCTV footage. Grainy and unclear, it showed Kylie leaving the bar alone, seemingly in good spirits, and then disappearing into the night. No signs of struggle, no indication of distress, just Kyle walking away. The canine tracking teams were brought in to trace Kyle's scent. The dogs followed his trail from the bar, through a maze of city streets, and then, inexplicably, the scent vanished. The end of the trail was as perplexing as its beginning. It led to a busy intersection, a place teeming with people and cars, a place where someone could easily vanish without a trace. These puzzling clues gave rise to a myriad of theories. Some speculated that Kyle, in a state of inebriation, might have stumbled into a dangerous situation. Others theorized that he might have gotten into an unidentified vehicle, possibly a taxi or a stranger's car, leading to his disappearance. Yet another theory suggested that he might have decided to walk away from his life completely, though those who knew him best disputed this, citing his close relationships and promising future. But these are all just theories, speculations trying to make sense of a baffling situation. The CCTV footage didn't provide a clear answer, and the canine tracking only led to a dead end. Theories swirled, but none could be substantiated with concrete evidence. The clues only deepened the mystery surrounding Kyle's disappearance, and as each day passed, the chances of solving this puzzle seemed to diminish. The truth of what happened to Kyle Fleischmann that night remains shrouded in mystery. The clues are there, but they're elusive, like fragments of a shattered mirror, each piece reflecting a different possibility, but none providing a complete picture. Every clue, every theory thickened the plot of Kyle's mysterious vanishing. In the world of true crime, not all stories find their resolution. The vanishing of Kyle Fleischmann is one such enigma that hangs heavy in the air. Despite the relentless efforts of investigators and the unwavering hope of his family, the case remains unsolved, leaving a gaping hole in the narrative. Kyle's disappearance is not just a personal tragedy, but a community's shared heartbreak. It's a story that has left an indelible mark on those who knew him and those who came to know of him through his baffling disappearance. His family, his friends, and even the investigators who've spent countless hours poring over his case are all united by the common thread of a lingering mystery that refuses to yield its secrets. Each passing day adds another layer to the mystery, another question mark to the puzzle. Each new sunrise is a stark reminder of the night that stole Kyle away. And while the world keeps turning, in some corners time stands still. It stands still for a mother who misses her son, for friends who lost their companion, and for a community that lost one of its own. Yet, amidst the despair, there is a spark of resilience. Kyle's family and friends, rather than being consumed by the sorrow, have chosen to keep his memory alive. They've turned their pain into a force for good, raising awareness about his case and, in doing so, keeping the flame of hope alive. They've refused to let Kyle's story fade into oblivion, refusing to let him be just another faceless statistic in the annals of unsolved mysteries. The case of Kyle Fleischmann serves as a stark reminder of the cruel unpredictability of life. It's a testament to the strength of human spirit, a heartbreaking tale of loss, and an enduring mystery that continues to confound and captivate. And so, the mystery of Kyle Fleischmann's disappearance lingers on, a chilling reminder of the unknown. Sometimes, the unanswered questions are the ones that haunt us the most. As we sift through the enigmatic shroud that surrounds the vanishing of Kyle Fleischmann, we're left with more questions than answers. A vibrant young man, full of life and promise, vanishes off the face of the earth, leaving behind a trail of puzzling clues that only deepen the mystery. What happened after that last surveillance footage? Where were his footsteps leading him in the frosty November night? And the most pressing question of all, where is Kyle Fleischmann? Despite an extensive investigation, these questions remain unresolved. The clues, as scant as they are, have led us down a labyrinth of theories, each more perplexing than the last. Some suggest he was a victim of a random act of violence. Others insist on him meeting foul play or falling prey to a tragic mishap. But the evidence, or rather the lack of it, provides no definitive answers. His cell phone, wallet, and coat, mysteriously left behind, offer no insight into his fate. The absence of any banking activity or use of his social security number since that fateful night only adds another layer to this enigma. The impact of Kyle's disappearance extends far beyond the realm of true crime enthusiasts and armchair detectives. It has left a void in the hearts of his family and friends, a void filled with grief, confusion, and a yearning for closure. The memory of his laughter, his zest for life, his dreams and aspirations, all swallowed in the abyss of the unknown. The vanishing of Kyle Fleischmann is a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the mysteries that lurk in the shadows of the everyday. It's a tale that echoes the eternal human struggle against the unknown, the relentless quest for truth in a world often shrouded in mystery. As we delve into the darkness of the unknown, we are left to ponder, what truly happened to Kyle Fleischmann? Thank you for joining me here at Whispers in the Wind. If you enjoy this channel, please like, share, and subscribe.